Be me. 28 years old. Visionary director of a boutique architecture firm in downtown LA. Specialize in biophilic urbanism and neo-brutalist eco-structures. Basically, I draw buildings with trees on them. Never actually poured concrete in my life. Failed statics 101 twice in undergrad. Told the professor physics is a construct, design is an emotion. He failed me. Didn't matter. Switched to architectural studies, the non-accredited art degree. Focused on rendering, 3D modeling, and narrative space. Graduated with honors because I could talk about liminality for 45 minutes without breathing. Fast forward 5 years. Run my own studio, Ether and Root. We don't do blueprints. We do atmospheres. Clients love it. Tech bros and crypto millionaires want offices that look like a scene from Avatar. I sell them the dream. Living walls that breathe with you. Carbon-negative meditation pods. Strictly aesthetics. Usually hire a third-party engineering firm to make sure the building doesn't collapse. They do the math, I take the credit. Get approached by a massive developer from Dubai. Project, the Hanging Gardens of the Future. 60-story residential tower. Completely open-air balconies. Massive oak trees on every floor. Waterfalls cascading down the facade. Zero steel visibility. A return to nature in the heart of the desert. Show them the renders. Glowing green lights, mist, birds. Photoshop ed in. They lose their minds. Sign a contract worth more than my entire life earnings. Catch is, they want it fast. Like Expo 2025, fast. And they want us to handle Teb Genera's everything in-house to preserve the, quote, artistic integrity. I say absolutely. Post a LinkedIn update, disrupting the skyline. Nature fights back. 5,000 likes in an hour. Walk into the office, Monday morning. Look at my current team. Mostly older guys I inherited when I bought the firm's shell. Head engineer is Frank. 55, smells like stale coffee and Marlboro Reds. Wears a polo tucked into khakis. Has a stamp that says licensed professional engineer. Treats it like a holy relic. Show Frank the concept for the Dubai Tower. He puts on his glasses. Squints. Where are the load paths? I tell him the load is distributed through the organic mesh facade. He laughs. Kid, wet soil weighs 120 pounds per cubic foot. You have 3 tons of dirt on a cantilevered balcony made of glass-reinforced concrete. Also, wind shear at 60 stories will rip those trees out and turn them into missiles. Also, water pumps for that waterfall will consume more energy than the rest of the building combined. Roll my eyes. Typical gatekeeper mentality. Old guard obsession with feasibility killing innovation. Tell him to think outside the box. He says gravity is the box. You can't think outside gravity. Sick of this negativity. Decide it's time for a culture shift. We're building the future, need people who understand the vision. Start phasing out the Franks. Call it agile design restructuring. Encourage early retirement. Fire the ones who refuse to learn Rhino 7 and Grasshopper. Hire a new wave. Spatial experience designers. Sustainability curators. Vibe managers. Resume filters. Parsons. RISD. Pratt. Keywords: holistic, parametric, disruptive. Hire Jasper. 24, wears beanie in summer, masters in digital fabrications. His portfolio has just generated glitch art. Hire Chloe. Botanical integration specialist. She ran a terrarium Etsy shop. Hire 15 others just like them. Office looks amazing. Mood boards everywhere. Succulent walls. Frank packs up his desk. Takes his PE stamp. Looks at me. When the deflection starts, don't call me. Whatever, boomer. First month of design phase. Pure bliss. Jasper generates 500 variations of the facade using an AI script. Looks like alien coral. Absolutely zero idea how to manufacture it. Doesn't matter, it looks sick on the projector. Chloe picks out tree species. Chooses weeping willows because they look melancholic and romantic. Ignore the fact that willows have invasive roots that destroy concrete. Vibes are immaculate. We hold daily synergy circles. Talk about how the building will heal the trauma of the city. No one opens AutoCAD. No one opens Revit. We just use Unreal Engine to make fly-through videos. Send the videos to the Dubai investors. They wire another $5 million. Excellent progress. Very green. Construction documents deadline approaching. Need actual blueprints. Tell the team to export the 3D models to 2D. Jasper asks, what's a section detail? Chloe asks, do we need to draw the pipes? Can't the contractors figure that out? Panic sets in slightly. Tell them to figure it out. We are redefining documentation, less lines, more intent. Submit a set of drawings that are basically colored diagrams and vibe checks. Contractor in Dubai calls me. Mr. Architect, where is the rebar schedule? I tell him we're using a proprietary carbon fiber weave. Lie through my teeth. He asks for the specs. I tell him they're pending patent approval. Just pour the foundation based on the footprint. He grumbles but does it. Construction starts. I fly out for the groundbreaking. Wear a white linen suit. Hold a golden shovel. Give a speech about vertical ecosystems. Everyone claps. Influencers taking selfies with the hole in the ground. Fly back to LA. Feel like a god. 6 months later. Structure is rising. Concrete core is up. Time to install the organic cantilevers. Contractor calls again. Boss, we poured the balcony for floor 10. And? It cracked immediately when we took the supports off. Heart stops. What do you mean cracked? It sagged 6 inches. The rebar you sent later, it's not enough. Did you account for the soil weight? We haven't even put the soil on yet. This is just self-weight. Hang up. Call emergency meeting. Guys, the vibe on floor 10 is off. Why is the concrete sagging? Jasper says, maybe the concrete wanted to settle, like chemically relax? Chloe suggests we plant hanging vines to hide the cracks. Embrace the imperfection, wabi-sabi. I realize I am surrounded by idiots. Idiots I hired. Idiots who think physics is a suggestion. Check the structural model. Realize Jasper modeled the balconies as hollow shells to save polygons. Contractor built them as solid slabs. Weight calculation is off by 400%. Panic mode engaged. Dubai investors coming for a site tour in 3 weeks. They expect to see trees. They expect to see waterfalls. If they see cracks and sagging, I'm dead. Literally, they might behead me. Or sue me for fraud. Try to fix it myself. Open a structural engineering textbook for the first time in decade. Moment of inertia. Shear modulus. Looks like hieroglyphics. Headache instantly. Go to the break room. See Chloe watering the moss wall. Hey, did you know that water is really heavy? She asks. Yes, Chloe, I know. Like really heavy. Maybe we should use plastic trees? The contract says living ecosystem, Chloe. We can't use plastic? What if we just paint the concrete green? Stare at her. Realize this is my legacy. A painted concrete bunker that collapses in a stiff breeze. Go back to my office. Close the blinds. Pull up my contacts. Scroll past the designers. Past the curators. Find Frank, do not call. Hesitate. Pride fighting survival. Survival wins. Call him. Ring, ring, ring. Yeah? Frank, it's me. Silence. I assumed you'd call sooner. Deflection started? Floor 10. 6 inches. With or without the dirt? Without. Hear him light a cigarette. Deeply inhale. You're screwed, kid. Frank, I need help. I have investors coming in 3 weeks. The building is barely holding itself up. I'm retired, fishing in Montana. I'll pay you triple your old salary. Consultant fee. Quadruple. And I bring my own team, and you fire the beanie kid. Done. Frank arrives 2 days later. Brings 3 guys with him. The Graybeards. Dave, structural, Bill, MEP, and Stan, site super. Combined age of 260. No MacBooks. No mood boards. They roll out massive tubes of paper drawings. Frank walks around the office, looks at the glitch art on the screens, snorts. "All right, listen up," he yells. Room goes silent. Chloe drops her Mr. Bottle. This isn't an art studio anymore. It's a triage unit. Dave, check the column loads. Bill, figure out how to drain the water before it shorts the elevator shafts. Stan, get on a plane to Dubai and stop them from pouring floor 11. What about us? Jasper asks, adjusting his beanie. You, Frank points a finger like a loaded gun. You go get coffee, and don't mess it up. The Graybeards take over the conference room, turn it into a war room. Red pens everywhere, yelling about tensile strength and PSI. I stand in the doorway watching. Dave is doing calculus on a napkin, faster than Jasper can launch an app. Bill is screaming at a vendor about pipe diameters. I don't care if it looks ugly, it flows water, doesn't it? Frank calls me over, points to a drawing. Here's your problem. You have a cantilever of 20 feet, supported by hope and dreams. We need external bracing. But that ruins the aesthetic. The floating look is the whole point. Frank looks at me, eyes like cold steel. Do you want a floating look or a falling building? Put the braces in. We can wrap them in fake ivy or something, just keep it standing. Next 2 weeks are hell. Frank's team works 18 hours a day. They redesign the entire structural system on the fly. Steel trusses added everywhere. Concrete mix changed to high-strength industrial grade. Planters reduced in depth by 50%. We'll use bonsai trees instead of oaks, Frank says. Use forced perspective. Genius. Irrigation system completely overhauled. No more open waterfalls. Enclosed glass tubes. Less humidity, less mold, less weight, Bill grunts. Jasper tries to intervene once. The energy flow of the tubes disrupts the chi of the lobby. Bill throws a calculator at him, misses by an inch. Jasper retreats to the beanbag corner. Site tour day arrives. I fly to Dubai with Frank. Building is covered in scaffolding, but floor 10 is finished for the demo. Steel braces are visible. Thick, industrial, ugly. But the balcony is straight. No sagging. Planters are shallow, filled with lightweight volcanic rock and small shrubs. Looks nothing like the jungle render. Looks like a building. Investors arrive. Sheikh looks at the steel braces. This is not what was promised. Where is the floating garden? Sweat beading on my forehead. Look at Frank. Frank says nothing, just cleans his glasses. I step up. Your Highness, this is the evolution of the concept. We call it neo-industrial symbiosis. The steel represents the strength of humanity supporting the fragility of nature. It is a statement on the necessity of infrastructure to support life. Also, the smaller trees represent growth potential, a legacy for your grandchildren. Sheikh looks at the braces, looks at the shrubs, looks at me. Neo-industrial symbiosis? Yes, very avant-garde, very now. Silence stretches for 10 seconds. Sheikh smiles. I like it. It looks strong. The other architect's building blew over in the sandstorm last week. Yours stands. Approved. I almost faint. Frank lets out a breath that smells like tobacco in relief. We fly back to LA. Office throws a party. We did it! Chloe is posting about the industrial chic pivot on Instagram. So proud to challenge the binary between nature and machine. Jasper is making NFTs of the steel braces. I find Frank in the back office, packing up his red pens. You saved my ass, Frank. Yeah, I did. You want to stay on as CTO, Chief Technical Officer? Frank laughs. Specific, wheezing laugh. Not a chance in hell. I saw the wiring diagram for your next project, the underwater hotel. Yeah, it's going to be translucent polymer. It's going to be a coffin. I'm taking my money and going back to Montana. Don't call me when it leaks. He walks out. I look at the team of hipsters celebrating. They think they won. They think design thinking solved the problem. I know the truth. It was dirty, math-heavy, boring engineering. Grunt work. Unsexy, non-disruptive physics. Grab a glass of champagne. Stand on a table. Listen up, team. We proved them wrong. We proved that vision conquers all. The old ways are dead. We are the future. Everyone cheers. Synergy. Flow. Ether. I check my phone. Email from a new client. Wants a floating city in the clouds. Anti-gravity architecture. I smile. Reply, we can do that. We specialize in the impossible. Delete Frank's number, but keep the contact for a salvage company. Just in case. Look at the render on the wall. Beautiful, glowing, impossible. Physics is just a mindset, right? Until gravity calls to collect. Sip champagne. Fake it till you break it. Or until the concrete cures. Life is good. 1 year later. The Dubai Tower opens. Wins Sustainable High Rise of the Year, mainly because of the innovative exposed structural elements. Architectural Digest runs a feature. How ether and root made steel feel organic. I give a TED Talk. The Weight of Dreams. Why heavy industry is the new green. Use words like structural honesty and load-bearing narrative. Audience eats it up. Meanwhile, back at the office. Working on the underwater hotel. Jasper is designing the windows. I made them out of recycled water bottles to save the ocean. Jasper, water pressure at 50 feet is 22 psi. Recycled plastic will implode. Stop gatekeeping materials, Anon. Rub my temples. Look at the empty desk where Frank used to sit. Look at the pile of legal notices from the contractor. Look at the award on my shelf. Shiny, hollow, gold-plated plastic. Just like me. Sigh. Jasper, make the windows thicker. How thick? Thick enough to hide the fear. Is that a metric? It is now. Turn back to the window. Watch the LA skyline. Wonder how many other buildings out there are held up by panic and last-minute steel. Probably all of them.